Hello, all you lovely people out there. My name is Deasia Monique, and welcome back to another episode of the Dear Diary podcast. Okay, guys, how are you doing today? I hope we're doing good. Welcome back. I'm so excited to see you guys here again, as always. It's a great time when we're together. At least I think it is. Wouldn't you agree? I hope you do. Anywho, I hope you guys are all doing great today. If not, I hope this episode does make your day a little bit better. That's always the goal. At least I hope it does that. Yeah, alright. So if you haven't noticed the episode's title, then what are you doing? But today we're talking about choosing happiness over bitterness, and specifically why I've decided to choose happiness over bitterness. So a while back, actually, I was, when I was first introduced to this podcast I'm currently listening to and I love so much, it's called Your Favorite Aunties Podcast. I will link that in the description. I love that podcast and I think everyone should listen to that podcast. I truly recommend it to everyone because it's just, there's so much that they talk about and I realize how much I can either relate or similarly, I'm not going to say that. Anyway, I see how much I can relate or how much it makes me think of certain things that I've gone through. And this episode is when I was not first introduced to the happiness over bitterness or like how the correlation of the two, but it was more so I realized in that moment, friendships, because that's the episodes that we're introduced to when I first started listening to that podcast. So I realized with certain friendships and whatnot, how the perspective that I was looking at things and it made me bitter either towards a person, towards myself, a situation, or whatever the case may be. It made me feel bitter. It brought up those feelings of bitterness. And bitterness is a very yucky feeling. At least personally, I think bitterness is very yucky. It leaves you just feeling like, ugh, you know? That's the only thing that I can really describe it as, is just yucky. And I've held a lot of bitterness towards a lot of different things leading up to this point in time, me recording this podcast. I've held bitterness for so many people, things, situations, you name it. I've held that bitterness and it took me a long time to realize how in doing so, I was damaging myself more than anything. Because I'm looking at maybe a person, right? And I'm like, I don't ever want to talk to them again. I don't want to see them again. They've hurt me. They've upset me. All I can think about is how they've done this, and this to me. And I'll never be able to forgive that. And meanwhile, and it may not always be the case, but meanwhile, they're busy enjoying life, not even thinking about the fact that they might have wronged you or that you feel wronged by something that they've done or actions that they've done, whatever the case may be. They're living their life and they're having fun. They're living life. They're doing the things. They're literally, I mean, there's no other way to describe that. And you're stewing in this bitterness stew. You are making a bitterness gumbo for you and only you. Plate of one, party of one, only you, because you're the only one who's shown up to that reservation. They're not in attendance and they're not coming. They're living their life. But you holding on to that, you're just damaging yourself in the long run because it's not like you're getting back at that person. It's not like, me saying that I hate this person. And I know hate is a strong word and I try not to say hate. I try to say dislike. So I strongly dislike this person. I strongly dislike this person. Ooh, love this so sad. But I strongly dislike this person and I'm gonna continue to strongly dislike this person for what they've done to me. And hold on, I got the perfect thing. It's in my head. Okay, so I'm gonna continue to strongly dislike this person and I'm gonna hold on to that dislike, right? Meanwhile, I may get a new job promotion. I may have other positive things happen in my life from that moment that I've decided to dislike this person, from that moment that you've decided to dislike this person. there's other things that'll happen. There are other bad things and good things that might happen, or no, not might happen, that will happen. And you also have to make room for that. So you're holding on to the baggage of the past. Meanwhile, you still have to collect the baggage that the future holds for you. So you're holding on to an unnecessary baggage in the process, and it's not allowing you to fully handle, process, to take in the situations of the future, because you're still holding on and harboring that bitterness of the past. And because of that, you're not fully able to take in those situations. You're not fully able to be there. You're not fully able to feel the things that you would feel, because you still have to hold on to that extra bitterness for the X, Y, and Z. That you still have to hold on to that, because that is still something that needs to exist in order for you to continue running. So you're holding on to that while trying to make room for other stuff in the future. And at some point, you're going to be forced to let that go. You're going to be forced to let something go. And it's either going to be something really good that could have been prevented by you letting go of that baggage, or, it has to be the baggage. There really is no in between. And I realize with that, and over time, in order for me to fully move on and to heal from certain things, I had to not only forgive people for what they've done to me, but forgive myself for what I've done to people, or for what I felt like should have happened and what didn't happen, yada, 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 whatever the case. I say that a lot. Yada, 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 so forth and so forth. So it's not something that obviously like I've let go of everything and I've forgiven everything. Absolutely not. It's just, I don't know how much time it would take for me to be able to reach that capacity, to reach that level, but I am at a place right now where I'm aware of the fact that there are certain things that I still hold on to that are actually, and I know that are probably and actually preventing me from being able to reach certain levels in my life. But I've also let go of certain baggage that I could have continued to hold on to, and it might possibly reappear, but I know it's not fully there. And I could have continued to hold on to that, but I chose not to, because I choose happiness. I choose to be happy. Truly, I choose to be happy and allow myself to be happy, and I choose to allow others to be happy, because we're learning. We're all learning, and we'll continue to learn. Learning is not something that just stops once you get to a certain age. We're learning at every age that we enter and every stage that we're in. So I have to be able to accept that although things may not have been ideal, and although I would have preferred things did not go the way they did go that way. And so it sucks that I had to be the one on the other side of it, it sucks that I had to be the one on the receiving end, and it sucks that other people had to be the one on the receiving end, but it did happen, and you cannot change that, but you can change how you move forward from that and how you allow that to dictate your life, and I choose not to let it dictate my life. But again, like I said, there are still things that are going to pop up, there are still things that I'm going to have to face even in the future that I may never let go of, or it may take a really long time to get to that point. But I know that on the other side of that is happiness, and more room for me to have more positive emotions instead of more negative. So yeah, I felt like I really got to the point on that episode. Like I really said, no, this is it. This is the episode. This is what you get. That's good. We did that one. Okay, y'all. We definitely did that one. I'm very happy with that. I hope that the point was made for this episode. I hope that y'all got the point of this episode, and that is that we're choosing happiness over bitterness, even if that means it takes a little bit of time, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, do not forget to give it a like on whatever platform it is that you are watching or listening to this on. We are currently on YouTube, Spotify, I would like to say Apple Podcasts, but I'm not entirely sure. So Apple Podcasts, and we also have a TikTok and Instagram account. Yes, we did make that Instagram account, y'all. Make sure to don't forget to check us out on those socials, and comment what your favorite part of this video was, or something that you took away, or something that you can add to this. As always, it is always a pleasure, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Bye.